Hello everyone, it's Tom here, and this is the HP Victus 15 with the Ryzen 5 7535HS and the RTX 2050. Here's everything you need to know about it, but before we get started, why don't you subscribe and leave a like, and maybe leave a comment down below. I know I haven't talked about this laptop yet, but if you own this laptop, I want to know your thoughts about it. So, this is the HP Victus 15. This is as budget gaming as budget gets. But how much does it cost exactly? At the moment, it costs less than $600, about $570-ish to be exact. We'll find out if this laptop's worth the price in a little bit, but for now, let's go over the bits and pieces. This thing has a Ryzen 5 7535HS processor with a maximum frequency of 4.5 GHz, a total core count of 6, and a total thread count of 12. The GPU is pretty basic, an NVIDIA RTX 2050. Yes, it's an RTX card, but it's not as powerful as you might think it is. You can think of this as the most basic RTX card, and with that being said, it's not gonna do a whole lot of super duper high quality gaming at 4K with ray tracing, especially with the measly 4GB of VRAM. As for the RAM and storage, this laptop gets 16GB of DDR5 RAM and 512GB in an SSD. Now, it might not be a lot, but for a gaming laptop of this price and caliber, that being an entry-level or budget gaming laptop, this is honestly par for the course. We'll talk about upgradability later, but for now, we'll talk about its real-world performance. Starting off with some good old Grand Theft Auto 5, the legacy version. At very high settings with FXAA on, we get a more than 90 frames per second on average, and that's at 1080p. What about a more demanding game like Cyberpunk? Now at 1080p with medium settings, well, we only get an average of a mere 30 to 35 frames per second. Of course, if you want to push those frames a bit, you can turn on DLSS. Now, when it comes to competitive games like CS2, we get more than 70 frames per second on average at 1080p with very high settings. If you want to push more FPS and really experience the 144Hz screen of this laptop, then I suppose you could tweak those settings a little bit more. Now, let's talk about this laptop's display. This laptop only has a screen resolution of 1080p, which is pretty standard. It's pretty standard, but it also has a refresh rate of 144Hz, as I mentioned earlier. And so, in my opinion, for gaming, this laptop is pretty great. But for creative workloads where color grading is crucial, you probably won't be able to achieve anything productive with this laptop's display. This laptop's display only really covers about like 60-ish% of the sRGB color space, which is really insufficient for any photo or video editing. Now, before we forget, let's talk about upgradability. With 16GB of DDR5 RAM and 512GB of storage via SSD, it's an alright laptop, but it can be better. This laptop has 2 RAM slots and 1 NVMe slot, which is a bit of a shame, but it's fine. Thankfully, they're not soldered, so you can upgrade or replace them if you need to. For this laptop, I highly recommend getting at least a terabyte or more, and I suggest pushing the 16GB to maybe 32GB. I've put links in the description below if you want upgrades. When it comes to the ports, to the left we have a Type-A USB port, a 3.5mm jack, and a full-sized SD card slot, and to the right we have an HDMI 2.1 port, another Type-A USB port, an Ethernet port, and a Type-C port. It's a decent selection, and for this size, it's really fine. Now, personally, I think this laptop's more for students who like to play games from time to time, but if you're gonna rely on this as your primary gaming rig, you're probably better off choosing something else. Thankfully, we have just the thing for you. We'll touch on that laptop in the very near future though, so make sure you're subscribed. You can scan these QR codes instead. Check it out, and if you're fine with an entry-level laptop, then why not get it? Thanks for watching, and have yourselves an awesome day.